Hello, folks. Welcome in. We are live here over at twitch.tv/Pixlriffs with the Spawn Chunks at Minecraft Live. Can everyone see and hear both me and Joel? Say hi, Joel.
Hi, Joel.
There we go.
Couldn't resist.
Yes. Yeah, if everyone's getting both of us in chat, wonderful, great stuff. So yes, here we are. Right down to the wire for this Minecraft Live September 2025 stream. We've just seen the community pre-show, and I'll be adjusting the volume as we go, so if you can't hear what's going on, there are going to be subtitles on screen as well. I'm pretty sure they provided closed captions, but I'll be able to turn on the YouTube ones if we need to here. And we're about to see everything Mojang has been working on the last little while. I'm excited. Are you excited, Joel?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to say. I definitely want to see more about vibrant visuals, and I want.
Well, you're seeing it right now. It seems like.
Yeah, I want to see what they're going to come up with. The old animated intro.
Mm-hmm. It's very fun to see the copper golden front and center of this as well. So, on the lead up to this, we've seen a couple of social posts from Minecraft about water-based stuff, specifically a few shorts about pufferfish, and a couple of very mysterious posts regarding boats being kind of mad about what they're about to announce. So, are we thinking maybe penguins?
Oh, maybe.
Welcome to Minecraft Live.
Maybe.
Coming to you from the Mojang office in Stockholm, Sweden. Get ready for a show featuring insights from the team, never before seen game drops, and lots more. The features we're announcing today will have you diving deeper and fighting smarter than ever before.
I don't know about you, but I never get tired of hearing Jens's voice.
I'm Jens Berensten. I've been working on Minecraft for quite some time. I've got loads of Minecraft memories. Too many to share here. But attending the fancy premieres of a Minecraft movie were definitely one to remember.
Of course, they have to nod to the movie because that was earlier this year, right?
The classic red carpet was made of real grass. Getting the chance to walk it was super fun, but even more special.
Points if you spot anybody who's from YouTube in these audience shots, because I think a few of them attended the premiere.
Our community really made those movie showings their own, just like they've done with our games since day one.
Phoenix Trails asking, are we finally going to get a date for the Copper Age? I think it's probably going to arrive next Tuesday because they're in release candidates now.
Yeah, what did we suggest on the show?
Lots of you love playing creative and survival mode.
September 30th, I think, yeah.
And that's great. And many of you have been modding the game in universe-expanding ways. We also noticed that more and more players are using marketplace content to play in their own way. No matter how long you've been playing or what you're getting up to, it's you, our community, that drives us to create.
We saw a shot of some modded trinkets in there, and we were talking on the Spawn Chunks recently about the idea of trinkets making their way into the vanilla game. I'm curious if they're dropping a few hints in this early section.
We're always taking notes and keeping a close eye on your feedback as we develop. You really do help shape the future of the game. On the other hand, it's also important that we expand Minecraft in ways that you might never have expected. We want to make our world more interesting, creative,
and nobody expected vibrant visuals, is what he's implying here.
We're not short on ideas. As I mentioned earlier, more players than ever are taking their first steps into the world of Minecraft. So here's a quick tutorial to help any newcomers.
Hi everyone. Welcome to this guide to Minecraft.
Hello? They're stealing my bit? They're doing a guide to Minecraft, live on Minecraft Live?
Wood blocks and can be broken with your hand.
Wait a second.
You'll need a crafting table.
I'm going to be out of a job soon, Joel.
Make sticks to craft one of the most iconic tools in all
And this after they've removed the Spawn Chunks from the game.
Right? Yeah.
A camel.
Coming after us one block at a time.
It's Jens. Hi, Jens.
Hey, how's the tutorial going?
Good. A camel just scared me.
Yeah, they're really sneaky.
Right, well, I guess I should start
They're like the
mining now.
least sneaky mobs. They sit around all day.
Bye. Let's go down and find some mines. And the fastest way to find them is to dig straight down.
Oh, I see what they're doing here.
Whoa, this is one weird mine. Wait, what's happening? It's shooting me. Pause. I'll just look this up. Let's see. How to fight anything
U-Cube.
eyebrows.
Incredible.
No, that's not
Surprised Microsoft hasn't launched this as a competitor
is
to
this it?
YouTube in general.
Oh, no, not that. No, no. Wait, is this even the same game? Wow. That's actually pretty cool. Yeah, beat that zombie. I don't even know what I was looking for anymore. Okay, last one. Oh. That is enough internet for today. You know, there's no right or wrong way.
There's
to
enough
play,
internet for
but there
today,
are
said
too
no
many
one
ways
ever.
For one guide
Yeah.
to cover. Just start exploring and experimenting. But if you don't know where to begin,
New
or
world.
you get stuck,
Right.
It's like
there are plenty of tutorials
labeling
out
your
there
design files.
made by
Final,
the community
final. No, really, this
for the
one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. New
They
World
didn't like that
brackets 1.
Final. Yeah.
Yeah. I always love these little like inserts they do with the Office. It's really fun. I'm expecting them to highlight the Copper Age and let us know the official release date before they go ahead with any new announcements.
My name is Agnes,
Yeah, I would think
and
so
I'm
too.
the game director for Vanilla Minecraft. And the main reason we make Minecraft is to spread as much happiness and inspiration as possible. We want to bring smiles, and the game drops gives us a chance to do so more often and in a sustainable way. And
Look at those
I
copper
find that
lanterns.
really precious. So far this year, we have released 2 game drops, and we got 2 more on the way. First is the Copper Age, which many of you might be familiar with. And
Oh, I'm very
later
familiar
in
with the Copper
show,
Age at this
we
point,
will
Agnes,
be
thank you.
revealing an entirely new
Copper
drop
Kings,
with
rise up.
features you haven't seen before, including a new mob.
Okay, we
But
have a
more
new
on
mob
that in a
confirmed.
bit.
It's looking good for
First,
penguins.
Let's take a closer
Yeah.
look at the Copper Age. A
think she
drop
also said
you will
that it
be
was coming
playing
this year,
very
too.
soon. In
yeah.
fact, it's coming next week.
There we go, September
Like
30th.
many of you, the shells
Nice.
are one of my
We were on
favorite
it.
features from the Copper Age. And when we first started to
I like
think
that the
about
release
the
dates have
concept,
become
I
a
was
bit
mainly
predictable.
excited about
You know,
the
Yeah.
within about a week, you
convenient
can kind of
hotbar
guess when it's
swapping.
coming.
Yeah.
But since then, we have seen players using it in so many creative ways we didn't think about, like furniture and lots of neat architectural details.
Really?
I actually dusted
You implemented a
off my
vertical
very
slab and you
dear
didn't think people were going to use it
architectural
architecturally?
to be able
Yeah, right.
to talk about all these clever uses of the shelf. So I now know what words like entablatures, frieze, and pilasters are. But we don't have time for all this architectural terminology. Let's hear from our lovely devs.
I don't know about you guys, but I could definitely hear Agnes read an entire book of architectural
So the Copper Age
terminology.
is coming in just
Yeah.
a few days, and it's going to expand quite a
She's
lot
really
what
fun.
you can do with copper in the game.
Copper is abundant. I always find, much more copper than I do coal or iron or other precious materials when mining.
So we always saw copper as a decorative block, and that's exactly what players have been using it for. They've been building amazing statues and amazing cities, amazing buildings. But now we're going to introduce some more uses for copper. Now we can use it to craft tools, armor, and also the copper golem, which I'm very excited about. It'll be the first mob made out of copper.
So the Copper
All
Golem
these
is a
shots
new
got
sort of
vibrant
friend to
visuals on
have
it,
in
too.
your base, who's going
He also says first mob made out of copper. Does that mean they have more plans, do you think?
Move
maybe.
items from the copper chest you put things in into nearby normal chests with similar items in.
So the copper golem, it's pretty small. It's a lot smaller than the iron golem. But my favorite thing is the way we've animated it, with its limbs like clicking around.
Yeah,
and
I
the way
genuinely
its head
think the way
turns.
they've
I
animated the
absolutely
Copper
love
Golem
it.
is so much better than any modded implementation I've seen. Like, they have so much personality.
Noises it makes.
In my head, it sounds way more like a beep boop robot than it actually does in the game, but it's like beep beep.
What really, really adds the cherry on top is the sound effects from Sandra. They just really make it feel like something's alive in your base.
Oh, I'm so happy they're highlighting the sound design as well. That's a sword. Why does she have a sword? It's like a saber.
But with a hint of something more
Why wouldn't
playful.
she have a sword?
It's just in case the pillagers invade, I guess.
copper golem doesn't have this ambient
Like a
idle
coffee
sounds
grinder
that it
and
just
stuff.
makes
Amazing.
when it walks around like most mobs
Foley
do.
work would be such a
So
fun
the
job.
personality would have to
Yeah,
be
totally.
in its
Like I've been in a
movement.
couple of
I
like
wanted
very
to
small scale
create a
Foley
voice
studios when I was doing my
of these,
university
like, metal
work, and
sounds.
yeah, it's super fun the stuff
The
they get up
copper
to.
golem spinning its head.
Very
and it's
physical
like
a lot of the
something
time
like
too.
this.
Yeah, from what I've seen.
I recorded my own voice for the hurts and death sounds. It's actually me dying. Don't hit them. Unless you want to hear my voice.
As the copper golem makes itself comfortable in your base, over time it's
That's
going
fun.
to start oxidizing, turning into all the different copper states.
And when it reaches the maximum oxidation, it will eventually freeze into place and turn into a statue.
One neat thing that I know we both like is the fact that the different statue poses will emit different redstone signals when you hook it up to a comparator.
So using that, you can make these cool like password locks to your vault in your base with all of your
It's exactly
loot in,
what I thought
where
of
you
the
need to have,
first
like,
time I,
sitting, standing, running
yeah.
golem,
learned that the statues
and
had
then
comparator
your
signal.
pistons will open and your chest is right there.
And of course, you can bring it back to its moving, sorting self by scraping that oxidization off, so it's not permanent.
There's more to this drop than just all the copper. We're also adding the shelf.
It's
funny that he said
functional
scraping
block where
instead
you
of
can
stripping.
put items
Because I
on
think
display.
about the
You
axe
can
as
also,
as
in its
stripping
power
because of the
state,
Yeah.
way that you strip, because of
do,
stripped
like,
wood,
copper
right?
swapping
You
for
strip
the
wood,
first
you
time in
scrape
Minecraft.
copper, and I think they also said oxidization, which I'm pretty sure it's meant to be oxidation, but we'll let that go.
Yeah, I think there's a couple times where there's an interchangeable
But players have not
Yeah.
just been using it to display their items. They've been using
pronunciation
it
of
as
those.
decoration
It's like
detail.
flammable or
And that's something that
inflammable,
really
right?
turns
It kind of means the
Pixlriffs.
same thing.
Yeah, a lot of people have been using the shelf as a building block. So seeing it being used as like part of these big constructs and, you know, for like skirting board around a wall, I think is building with a very like Minecrafty feeling to it.
It's something that players have been craving for a long time.
Yeah, a lot of
I
good
like
builds
them
coming
as
out with it.
walls.
Yeah, they make really, really good like interior detail, but not in the way that
The
you'd
copper
expect
age
something
is
called a
just days
shelf to
away,
be.
And with this,
Yeah.
we want to sort of fulfill copper as a full material tier, adding armor, weapons, tools.
And it's introducing, dare I say, the new cutest mob in the game with the copper golem.
Ooh, you're very wrong. What are you talking about? The cutest, the golem? Are you forgetting the happy ghast?
Oh yeah, I am forgetting the happy cast. That is a cute one.
Oh, we're straight into celebrating the last drop.
It's very, very friendly, but takes up all your space. It's cozy. Who's that floaty friend cube with its many limbs? Look at these dangly things. It's a happy gas,
And immediately misrepresenting how fast they travel. They are nowhere near that fast.
Yeah,
Yeah, the horse is clearly outrunning them there.
they're not this quiet either.
No, true. A little bit of artistic license for the music video.
That would be a good data pack, actually. Speeding them up.
Yeah, no, absolutely it would. I expect there's a lot of people who'd enjoy that. Although some control would still be helpful because you kind of don't want the things to race away at the speed of light either.
Yeah.
G2B says this has My Little Pony vibes. You're not wrong.
Yeah. I think just the speed when the player's on it would be enough, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, when's this going to be a music disc?
Yeah.
After they did this with Lava Chicken.
This is cute and all, but like this was 6 months ago.
I mean, yeah, but then the Copper Age isn't even technically out yet, so this is still the previous drop as far as the releases go.
Right.
They got to celebrate what they did earlier this year, because they weren't even talking about Happy Ghasts last time we had a Minecraft Live. Or were they? I think they announced the Happy Ghast at the last Minecraft Live.
Your
Yeah.
creativity never fails to amaze us. Let's meet 3 community members who, like millions of others, are using Minecraft to create something far beyond the game.
My name is T. I'm 19 years old, and I'm from Sweden. A friend invited me to a server, and since he lives so far away, I wanted him to see where I'm from. So I just started building my hometown Falun, but with a twist. Falun in the year 1920. Very often I would sketch imaginary buildings, and when I build in Minecraft, I use the same kind of process as with my sketches and drawings. So that inspired me to doing architecture. If Minecraft wouldn't exist, my friends, my career, the people I know now would have been so much different.
For some, the in-game world is a way to showcase their creativity, while for others, it's a source of inspiration.
My name is Travis Smalley. I make art that translates on and off of computers and finds its way out into the real world. It all started with Minecraft. For instance, in block prints, you carve out a square in some kind of asymmetrical fashion, so that depending on how you rotate that block, you're going to get a different pattern. Very similar to in Minecraft, the glazed terracotta, and depending on what direction you're facing when you place the block, you get this different kind of pattern that happens out of it. Minecraft is inspiring in a number of ways. The thing that stuck out for me was how expansive this idea was, that every world was procedurally generated and different. World generation was also coming up in my art as I started to use chance and randomness more. The decision is coming from you, but you don't know exactly what the output is going to be, has been really exciting for me.
Creativity takes many shapes and sometimes opens doors into worlds you never knew existed.
Hola, soy Akumadre y soy una streamer de Minecraft. Comencé a jugar, que mis hijos son streamers y siempre estaba en el detrás de cámara y el chat pedía que me presentara, que hablara,
that's fun. Imagine getting into streaming because the chat is always like, hey, who's that, when you like pop in.
Yeah.
Pienso que Minecraft es una comunidad que puede ser muy positiva.
The screens.
Also, a lefty using mouse with the left hand, keyboard with the right hand, WASD. Creativity right there. That's how Corrales plays, I'm pretty sure.
Does she press shift with her thumb?
No, probably
does, right?
Well, my partner just took up crocheting as well, so this is really fun to have it included in this.
Endless creativity that defines our community. So keep building, creating, and exploring, and see
from granny squares to granny blocks.
Now, a first look at an upcoming collaboration.
Oh, bat transition. That's a new one. Are those the Dragon Balls, dude? What's going on here? Is this going to be a DLC with Dragon Ball?
Marketplace, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Looks like it.
Yep, no, that is very much the dragon from Dragon Ball. Go Super Saiyan in Minecraft.
They have.
Oh, you can
licensing with like everything else, right?
Yeah, there you go. We have Goku and the squad already in DLC coming soon. It says neat. Oh, that's fun. I used to watch Dragon Ball Z back in the day on like Cartoon Network when I was like 13.
Oh yeah, I never got into it. It was after my time.
Yeah. That was back before I knew it was called anime. I just thought it was like, oh, this is a cool cartoon, you know? Like, I didn't never make the distinction back then.
Yeah.
And now it's time to reveal a brand new, unseen game drop that we are planning to release.
All right, new stuff, let's go.
This year. These features can make traversing the Minecraft world more varied, interesting, and fun. And fun is important. I've already hinted that the new drop includes a mob. And to find it, we must leave the surface and sink into the depths of the ocean.
Oh, maybe deep ocean mob then?
Oh,
not a penguin after all?
It's almost like a hidden world.
Because deep oceans don't have a lot going on right now.
No.
Down here, among shipwrecks and seagrass, our creature drifts in stillness.
Oh?
Its shape and color
Maybe it's a
might remind
Minecraft
you of a shell
unique mob
that
as opposed to a
already
real world
exists
one.
in Minecraft.
She said the shell that already exists. Is it the
seem to be
Nautilus shell?
particularly
Are they adding a Nautilus to the game?
It might take some underwater exploration, but if you're lucky, you will see one of these floating into view.
Oh, they are! Oh, look at you! It looks like a mint humbug.
So, the Nautilus is a new underwater mob you find in the oceans.
It has a very cool motion. It sort of uses its tentacles to propel forward.
Something more terrifying than a
has
squid.
similar
We love to see it.
movement, I have to guess. So it like has an
I wonder if they'll
abrupt turn.
commit
like
commit
the
themselves to beaches
Apagast
as
of the
often.
seas.
Whoa.
There's one thing in particular that is really cool, I think, with the Nautilus, and that is that you can tame it.
So
and
it's
when
rideable.
you have tamed it,
you can ride it.
Does it move as slowly as the Happy Gust, or
bigger than I thought?
I
thought it was
to do that, you
a
first
sub-block
need
size.
to tame it,
Yeah.
and you use pufferfish.
But it looks to be more
and
like a
then
block
you
and a
need
half.
to put on the saddle.
So
and
this is
then
why they've
you
had
can
all of
control
the
just how
pufferfish
you
like
fly
swimming
around
away
with
in
the
the
Apagast, but
the little
underwater
promotional
instead, of
videos.
course.
While
Do you need
are
water breathing
riding the
still?
Nautilus, you get the super cool effect.
Oh,
the
cool.
Breath
You
of
get
the
a-
Nautilus effect.
You just answered that
Which
question.
means that you can be on the Nautilus without having to get oxygen because it pauses the oxygen bar.
So automatic infinite water
You're on
breathing.
your Nautilus and you can build like your underwater base, and yeah, you're gonna be safe.
So the Happy Gust made it easier to build in the skies, and the Nautilus will make it easier to build underwater.
I can see players doing triathlon races with the various mounts. Happy Gas.
A couple people in our community could be happy about that.
Yeah, and jumping over rings and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
I'm kind of surprised though, because we have water breathing, we have turtle shell helmet, we have conduit, and now this also pauses like the oxygen meter so you can breathe underwater. But it has a dash at least, which means it's faster than the Happy Gust.
Which
Yeah.
is super cool underwater.
You know what you're not doing is
Allows
you're
you to get
you're
around
not
faster.
constantly bopping in and out of swim mode.
So if you
when you
Yeah,
don't
that's
want
true.
to.
for
That's
whatever
true.
reason, looking straight up.
That's
out
been
of
the bane of my
surface, you
existence
will
for a while.
Jump out of the water.
Doing underwater
and
decorations.
Then afterwards back down.
Oh, it
again.
leaps. That's fun.
Don't do it near land.
No.
I wonder how that interacts with like Riptide Tridents. If you could have it go even faster if you're using Riptide
And
as well.
there is
Can you
Nautilus
jump
armor,
off of it
so you can put on armor
mid-air
on
and
your
then
Nautilus.
elytra away?
For
you know?
example, you can have like
Okay,
a
I like
golden
the
Nautilus
armor
and a
changing the
diamond
entire
Nautilus
shell of the Nautilus. That's kind of cool.
armor. There is also a zombie Nautilus.
A zombie Nautilus?
The zombie Nautilus is green compared to the regular one, which
No
is
way,
like
dude.
a
Can you
little bit
ride
more
this one as
orange or
well?
golden.
The zombie Nautilus spawns with a drowned on top of it, so it's quite scary.
Okay, right, yeah.
Yeah, you get the drowned with the trident, throwing tridents at you, and then the Nautilus charging at you. So it's yeah, quite a deadly combo.
It is.
So this is the new PvP arena.
That you use the pufferfish
Is
to
swimming
tame
with
the
Nautilus.
so you can ride on it.
And if you have two tame Nautiluses nearby each other, and once you feed it, they will produce a baby Nautilus.
And it's also pufferfish that you use to make water-breathing potions. So it feels like this kind of Minecraft logic that pufferfish is the thing that unlocks breathing underwater.
It's so fun actually watching the player
So,
just kind of drift
The
around on
Nautilus
these things.
is not the only thing we are revealing today.
Oh, we got
In
something
fact,
new?
Let us
Something
leave
else?
the oceans and instead go visit a crafting table. Because with 2 sticks and 1 ingot, you get to create something very new.
The spear.
Oh, a spear.
The spear
That's
is the
wild.
first
I was going to say
weapon
trowel.
we've had in a very long
Yeah.
time. It has 2 modes of attacking.
One of them is a jab, and the other is a charge. The
Oh,
charge
jousting.
attack is
Jousting
something
is a
that
thing
does
now.
damage based on how
Yeah, yeah.
fast you're going. So the faster you go, the more damage you deal with it.
Once
Oh,
the spear
oh
is
my
lowered,
god.
then it's gonna be still. And
Another
this is the
physics-based thing like the
ideal,
mace
state
then.
of the spear, because it's
Right.
gonna deal damage, it's gonna deal knockback, and it's gonna dismount. Then the spear starts shaking, then you can no longer dismount targets. And eventually it drops down. It can still deal damage, but no knockback. And
Yeah, it's like a
finally it
horizontal
raises back
mace.
up, and then you have to
Interesting.
lower it again.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the spear is really heavy, so
Oh,
you can
yeah.
only hold it like for a while and then start. And right, also like the better tiers are even heavier,
Yeah.
which also makes sense.
Oh, interesting. So like,
Like, players
a
are gonna
netherite
be
spear
able
is
to
going to be
do a
really
lot of
heavy and you
different
can't use
things
it
with the
quite as
spear.
effectively,
Like, I
but
think
probably
in
more damage,
jousting,
right?
Right.
You know, horse jousting.
Can you
but why
only
not
do it if you're riding something?
Nautilus jousting.
I mean, I assume you can use it as a melee weapon still, because they said it has like a standing jab you can do.
Yeah.
Jumping down
But this
off
is just the
Happy Gas and then
additional momentum
flying
gives you
into
more
your
damage.
enemies.
Right. So I mean, the momentum when you're flying would be the highest momentum, right?
Depends. You can get pretty fast with like ice
thanks
boats.
To, the dash
Fair.
attack and all
And
the
like with soul
timing,
speed and
like
Dolphin's
the
Grace and stuff like
velocity and
that,
the
people have
angle,
moved really
this
fast in
definitely
survival.
is a weapon that requires some like training and skill to be really
Mowing
good
down
at, which I
pillagers
think
with
is
it is
really
pretty
fun.
funny looking,
It
though.
adds a depth,
Yeah.
and I think it's gonna unlock a lot of really interesting PvP opportunities, for example.
You're not the only ones who get this new weapon.
So the zombie horse now spawn with the zombie.
Oh my god, they're doing
holding a
something
spear in
with
his hand.
the zombie horse.
And the zombie horse will also spawn for the first
That I
time
did not
in survival
expect.
mode.
So it's
been
very
creative
similar
only
to
for
the
so
zombie
long.
Nautilus,
Right?
Around at night,
Sorry?
but now there's
Is
gonna
it similar
be
to the
one
zombie
more
Nautilus,
danger,
right?
because there's
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
guess so. Like
zombies
two zombie
with
mounts in
spears
one go.
and zombie
Although this one has
horses.
technically been part of the game
Zombies squirt, a lot
forever.
of zombies,
Yeah.
So they can spawn at
To
night
recap,
with a
this
spear
future
riding
drop
zombie.
comes with the
Like a spear
Nautilus,
wielding.
The Nautilus
That's
armor,
interesting.
Zombie Nautilus with round on, of course the spear, and also the zombie horse.
Kinda
So it's
mob
kinda
focused, this one.
mounts and like mounted combat that connects it all.
And the name of the drop will be
Mounts of Mayhem.
Oh, we're going back to just like revealing the name
This
right
drop
away.
is planned
Fun.
to release later this year, but you will be able to try out this feature soon in Snapshot, Beta, and Preview.
We are, of course, very excited to see what you will think about it, and then to see kind of what you all do with all these features when you can playtest them.
Minecraft continues to get bigger and better. We've shown off the Copper Age game drop, which is coming soon, and a few of the features from Mounts of Mayhem, which will be in testing in the near future and due to release later this year. We can't wait to see what you create with the new features and your upcoming underwater adventures. It takes me back to the update Aquatic, only now you'll have one more pointy stabby weapon to play with. For more on both game drops, stay tuned for the Deep Dig after show. I've heard a rumor that I'll be facing off against the cheerful Minecraft expert, Tubbo. It starts right now.
All right, so that's that. We got an after show, but you and I can, I guess, chat about what we've seen.
Sure.
So where do you want to start? I guess the Nautilus is the first thing that we really want to talk about because it's, you know, the hot new mob.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have that on my bingo card because
Yeah.
I don't really build
Absolutely
underwater. You know, like I've done some, I think the closest I've done to like real building underwater lately has been a lot of the riverscaping and details that I added around West Hill, but none of that was super deep. I am 5-6 blocks. Like it's not like they were really deep ocean building.
Yeah.
And whenever I've been that deep in the ocean, it's usually been to collect something, you know, and then mess off again. So I've not really thought about sticking around. And like you, and this is an end game thing for me, but like we've got more underwater breathing potions than we know what to do with. So like I've never really thought about a mob to assist with that. But one thing that has been a problem for me for a while is when you do have elytra on underwater, it happens even without elytra, but more so when you have elytra on, is that if you run into any downward flowing water, you're just constantly pushed into stream mode. And if you're trying to do something, like you're trying to build and aim, you miss. Like you end up putting blocks where you don't want to, or you break something you don't want to. And it's very frustrating because it's not something you're doing. It's just the game is kind of tossing you around. And so if being on a Nautilus will allow you to float around with more control, be able to build just like you build on the back of a Happy Gast, then I could see that being a benefit, because none of the footage in the examples had any change to the player. The player was very static on the back of the Nautilus, so it really feels like you're just kind of moving around underwater, kind of in a free for all, you know?
It kind of reminds me of like riding a scooter in real life. Like it sort of it looks like a Minecraft equivalent of like riding a Vespa, you know, those kind of like very Italian feeling kind of motor scooters. Yeah, I think that's an interesting pull. Like I said, I don't know if it's strange to me that the water breathing aspect of it is just like it's another means of having underwater breathing in Minecraft, but it feels like it makes a lot of sense that for a start, if they're adding a rideable water mob, you can breathe underwater on it. There are a couple of situations in which I've considered making a underwater build in, say, like a swamp. There's some areas of it where if you dig out a large enough area, the swamp water is kind of more grey, which makes it kind of naturally clearer if you have better vision underwater. If you have like night vision and conduit power to a certain extent increases the visibility underwater as well. And so I kind of wonder if maybe stuff like that feels more viable as a way to have more like creative flight style freedom over a build project in a similar way to how the Happy Gust can kind of help you move around like that in the overworld, like on the surface. But yeah, it's curious that they're adding this. It makes sense in retrospect looking at the Nautilus shell though, and thinking that's been in the game since the Update Aquatic added them for conduits, so it makes sense that the shell actually comes from somewhere. And I wonder if maybe it'll be possible to farm Nautiluses for Nautilus shells if you want to get hold of conduits, which are usually a little bit harder to get hold of because you've got to fish for them constantly. I wonder if maybe even like they could work Hearts of the Sea in there somewhere, because right now you can only get hold of those from shipwreck treasure. They become less and less accessible on multiplayer servers. I've gone out and found 50 buried treasures in the past so that I can get enough conduits that I want to build with them in certain types of builds, but it gets a little bit tiresome, and you have to go further and further afield to find any Hearts of the Sea you haven't already plundered.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be able to bring in more for the Nautilus shell, because like there's no new blocks announced, no new items outside of the Nautilus shell and the pufferfish being a little bit more prominent, but like they're not really adding anything new. They're just saying where these things might come from. So without that, like I would love to see some sort of Nautilus farm if you could get some sort of new block, shell block or something out of Nautilus, or be able to craft more from them. I would imagine it would be very similar if they're spawning in deep ocean biomes, similar to how squids spawn in rivers or deep ocean. I'd imagine if you cleared out some deep ocean, made some of it unspawnable, and then created your own water columns or something for these things to spawn in, you could probably have them spawn and then trap them or whatever.
Yeah.
You could also breed them, which is, another way to get more of them if you want, depending on what was it that they gave him? Pufferfish? So I guess if you have enough pufferfish, then you could just make more, but I don't know if that's going to work the same way that, how easy it is to breed up cows and chickens and all that.
Yeah. Obviously, it depends, like, how quickly you can breed them. So, like, the more you have, the more you'll be able to breed and so forth. Yeah. They didn't mention anything about the Nautilus or the zombie Nautilus dropping anything specifically. And in fact, like, one of the things I've seen people already remark on in the chat is that there aren't any blocks mentioned in this at all.
No, none.
I think one of the things that's worth noting here, of course, is that as these updates develop, they'll sort of tweak and add a couple of things here and there. Like, when we learned about some of the stuff that was happening in Spring to Life initially, we didn't know all of the stuff that they were going to add later. And so there might be a couple of things that arise from them implementing the Nautilus and a bit of community feedback that might end up with there being blocks. So they might just still be working on that stuff and not have it ready to show off at Minecraft Live yet. That's not to get anybody's hopes up, because they could just be planning on making this. It's already called Mobs of Mayhem, and it's also going to be coming out before the end of the year, so presumably like in early December, so that we can have a holiday break playing with these new features. So yeah, I can only imagine that they don't have much planned in the way of blocks. And on the plus side, looking at the silver lining of this, that means we can look forward to a drop fairly early next year, which is going to focus on the blocks side of the game, or perhaps some redstone stuff, considering that the final drop of this year is going to be fairly mob focused.
Yeah, if they had blocks, or had even an inkling for a block, I think they would be better off to mention it, even if they had to say temporary texture, or like, this is just an idea we're working with, or we're trying to figure out some new blocks that we might be able to use the Nautilus for, because then at least people would be able to say, oh, well, okay, well, we don't see one yet, but we're going to pay attention over the next month or 2 months as we see it in snapshots. But to not mention it at all, like, I wouldn't get your hopes up, which I think is really disappointing. Like, there's not a lot in this update that I'm finding appealing for me personally, because I don't do PvE, PvP. I don't really build much underwater, although, I mean, I guess this could change a little bit with the Nautilus, but like the spear and all the things that are involved with it. Like it just doesn't really appeal. I think there's a subsect of people out there that do a lot of PvE and PvP in Minecraft where it might, and I think that that's cool. Mini games, you know, like server jousting with ice boats or camels, or I mean, happy gas jousting would be hilarious and weird. So there's lots of opportunities for people to get creative with it, specifically like map makers or people making content for the marketplace. Yeah, it's as someone that uses Minecraft mostly as a creative outlet, then this doesn't really do a whole lot for me until we maybe see. I think the potential in the Nautilus shell might be there. Like there could be some cool stuff happening with that if there's a way to utilize that in the world somehow. But I mean, nothing from the trailer suggests that we can.
Yeah, Nautilus shells already make conduits, so they've automatically kind of got a feature in the game from a while ago. I wonder if they're considering expanding that. That could be a possibility. We've got zombie Nautilus as well. We've got the zombie horse now spawning in survival for the first time, and that brings with it spear wielding zombies. So we kind of get an equivalent of the archer skeletons riding skeleton horses, right?
Right.
But it seems like zombie horses are going to spawn at night. They didn't say necessarily which biome, as far as I can tell, but maybe it'll be restricted to the biomes that can naturally spawn horses, so like, you know, plains and savannas and that kind of thing. So I do kind of wonder if there's going to be restrictions on that, because I get the sense that having a ton of zombie horses around is kind of like whenever there's been a thunderstorm and there's like loads of skeleton horses nearby, you get a little bit tired of them. Then again, perhaps they burn in the sun in the same way that zombies do. So I'm kind of curious what they have in mind with that.
It's an interesting point to bring up because skeletal horses don't burn up, but the skeletons do.
Yes, true.
Right. So maybe the zombies will burn up, but the zombie horses won't.
I think the skeletons typically spawn with helmets as well. So like maybe the zombie will spawn with a helmet and that'll make it fire resistant for a while. But
maybe
the way that works is that the helmet takes durability damage the same way the zombie would take fire damage, and then it'll eventually break, and then the skeleton burns.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a way to combine the speed of riding a Nautilus in the same way that we've seen things like having soul speed on ice with soul sand around, or combining like different speeds with Dolphin's Grace, like if you're running through a waterlogged slab, that kind of stuff. I wonder if you could have like Dolphin's Grace with conduits and riding a Nautilus, and I wonder if that like would compound and give you more speed and maneuverability, you know, over time or over an area, you know.
It could be a really great way of having underwater races work. I know like swimming is obviously a thing already, but like being on the Nautilus as a vehicle seems like a fun way of, you know, crafting a track around that. And that's where I think the creativity comes in. You were talking about how you as like a creative builder, or at least a survival builder who is creative, you don't feel like that interested in these sort of like creature centric drops. Like I wonder if there are just going to be more people who are interested in, you know, collecting mobs in the world. Like we had somebody in our hangout earlier today was collecting a bunch of mobs, and like if you want to build a little fish tank exhibit for the Nautilus, or if you want to build a racetrack, or if you want to make it like the aliens that have come from space and have them like in little watery pods in the front of all your spaceships that you're building, or something like that. I think there's ways of using them creatively without them necessarily being so build focused, I guess.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if there's a way to get a Nautilus shell as it is in the game, as opposed to the item that you hold. I would like to see a Nautilus shell as you see it on these mobs,
like a decorative one that you could place in the world.
Yeah, especially because you can put armor on them, because then you could have like this gold spiral as a decorative part of your build, right?
Yeah.
In the same way that you can use armor stands or helmets or shields to do different things. You know, I think that would be a fun way to do that. We've seen unique blocks like that, like the lodestone is a good example of like being used decoratively sometimes instead of its actual function, because it has such a unique texture. And I think that this could be something fun like that. I mean, the actual orange and kind of shell-shaped, shell-colored stripes on the Nautilus in the wild might not be as useful, but like putting diamond armor or copper armor, presumably they didn't show netherite, but I guess you could if you wanted to.
Mhm.
That would be kind of cool. Or leather armor, because then you could have different colors, right? So
Yeah.
having different color spirals could be interesting for creative builders.
I'm looking at them now in the post-show,
Mm-hmm.
messing around with the spear, and I can see why this feels like a really neat idea, even if, like, you know, you and I aren't really PvP or PvE focused, so we're not that, like, determined to use absolutely everything. I still use the mace occasionally. I grab the mace whenever pillager patrols come to town. I make a point of, like, finding a high place I can drop on the pillager captain from, especially now Bad Omen is a potion. And so I wonder if, like, people are going to find creative stuff to do with these. I think the fact that you can joust with them is going to be great fun for servers. It's going to be, like, you know, role-play, minigame centric, kind of, like, very medieval focused. And I think as far as the weapon set of Minecraft, I think it suits pretty well Minecraft's level of technology right now. Like, it was interesting that they're talking about the Copper Age being something that feels a bit like an industrial revolution for Minecraft, and then the next drop they come up with is like, we've invented the spear. It's not quite like the sort of industrial revolution, but then I guess it gets around, like, you know, gunpowder or whatever else you might find associated with that kind of thing. What are your thoughts about the spear, knowing, of course, that you're not going to be somebody who's using it all that much? Do you see the community embracing this kind of weapon?
It's huge. Like, when you look at it outside of the player's point of view, like when you're seeing another player hold it, it's really large. And if you can then put that in an armor stand, you know, and have that be in the world somehow, then that would be cool as, like, just set decoration to lean up against a wall or whatever, if you've got a data pack for that. Or even just having them as, I guess, displayed in other places. I'm not sure what that would look like on a shelf. I'd imagine it would look like whatever. I'm trying to see what it looks like in the inventory, but I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, they've crafted it a couple of times, so we could go back through the stream and take a look at it.
Yeah, I mean, from what I can tell, it's going to be either iron or copper or diamond or whatever. Like, it's going to have the different tiers of the different materials. And so, oh yeah, okay. So it just looks like a spear in the. I think that's the thing. It looks deceptively short in the
inventory sprite.
Yeah. But then when you see it in the world, it's a lot larger. So I don't know. Like, does it work in a dispenser? Like, does it get shot out? Does it not get shot, but actually pop out and stab and come back in? Like, could players use it in mob farms or you know, like traps, things like that? Could be kind of fun, especially if you can face the dispensers up. You know, like, what if you had like an entire field of these things, and as a mini game you've got random redstone signals shooting these spears up into the ground, kind of like an Indiana Jones booby trap, you know, and then, like, walk across the field of spears and, like, see how much health you have at the other side, and just, like, did you survive, did you not, like, what's the deal there? That, like, that kind of stuff could be creative and fun. But if it's, I think the thing is, like, if you're going to add it to the game and have everything be solely focused on PvP or PvE, I think that you're going to alienate a lot of the player base. And if you give it more functionality, and something I always talk about on the show as well, is, like, if you bring something into the game and you give it more than one use for more than one type of player, it's way more fun and way more interesting than just having it be like a single thing, right? So I think that's some of the feedback that people had about, like, copper armor. So it's like, well, it's just armor. Like, it's not really providing anything new or different. It's just a sub tier somewheres in the middle that is useful if you're starting the game new, for sure, but it doesn't have the same weight or usefulness as something like copper lanterns, for example. Like, people can use those creatively. They can use those in different ways than just armor, right? Like, it has more than one function. So I don't know. I'm hoping that they can do more with it. So I think one of the drawbacks of these drops is that the announcements, they make a big deal for Minecraft Live, and then the announcements are very short and sometimes light on content. And then I really feel like the Spring to Life stuff, they kind of announced everything right at the beginning, and we got more technical stuff as it went on, but I don't think any new blocks were announced in the snapshots. So I'm not sure. Here, I think, like, functionality and interactivity with the spear and the Nautilus with other things in the game are probably what's going to help make this drop feel more robust. They've brought some use to the pufferfish again, which I think is a good kind of like adding usability and adding function to things already existing in Minecraft. And if they did that, like they look at the spear and they look at the Nautilus and they say, okay, well, what could we do with existing things in Minecraft and have these things interact with them in an interesting way? Could that be fun? And I think that's what they have to lean into for this to be a more appealing drop for the broader player base.
They're already doing in this post-show what I expected people to want to do with the Nautilus right away, is like create a little race course, like a little underwater kind of the equivalent of an Elytra course. I think it's kind of a neat idea. But yeah, I think ultimately this year we've had Spring to Life, which was very focused on foliage and therefore building. We've had the introduction of the Happy Ghast, which is mob focused, but also I think like a boon to builders because it allows you to build in the sky so much more easily. You have a little bit of exploration and transport with it as well, but obviously it's fairly slow, so it's not the kind of massive boost in exploration that Elytra was. So I think, honestly, as a tool for builders is probably one of the ways in which it stands out the most for me. And then you have the Copper Golem and the Copper Age drop, which adds shelves, which are obviously hugely functional. Copper Golems themselves are hugely functional, but then a lot of the other stuff in that is still blocks and other items that you can use decoratively. So I think this could be an interesting way to appease players who've sort of looked at the last few gameplay drops and kind of thought, well, I'm more interested in the PvP side of things. What am I going to do with a bunch of flowers being in the game now? I think there's maybe a lack of new features for PvP recently, which is why I think a lot of people will be interested in the spear. And I'm hopeful that that's giving those players a little bit more about what they want. Then next year, like I said, we'll probably get back into some stuff that means long-term building ideas come to the fore. And we've talked in the past about player demand for stuff like updates to the end and long-term plans for Minecraft as opposed to these short-term every 3 months kind of drops. And I'm curious if they maybe talk about that next year and refocus on providing stuff that has more of a theme to it than these individual expansions to the game.
Yeah. There was no mention whatsoever about vibrant visuals for either platform.
It got name dropped just for the sake of them having, stuff on the screen that used it, but there wasn't anything to do with updates to it for Bedrock Edition, a release date for Java. I presume the Java version is just going to happen when it happens, and they have been working on it in terms of visual updates to the game and the way some stuff is rendered. I don't think we are going to be waiting all that long for it, but I think as with the general strategy of stuff these days, they're just going to show you it when it's done. I think that's probably what we get with vibrant visuals.
I'm hoping that they show it to us with some opportunity for feedback because unlike the Bedrock Edition, I feel like the Java community does have opportunities to give feedback for snapshots, and there's definitely things about vibrant visuals in Bedrock that I would have loved to have been able to give feedback on and see if there'd be any changes coming to it because as it is right now, it's cool in some biomes and it's all right looking some of the time, but there's not enough about it that I would want to use it all the time because of how saturated it makes everything look. And without that control, it's going to be difficult to make the switch to use it on Java Edition.
Yeah, have you been back to vibrant visuals since its initial release? Because I think I heard from somebody the other day, whether it was in our Discord or if it was on stream or something, that somebody mentioned they have made a couple of adjustments to the saturation of certain biomes, but that'd be obviously in the eye of the beholder. I'm not certain if that's something that you'll consider going back to, or if you're just going to wait until the Java edition comes out at this point.
No, I'm waiting for the Java edition because I just don't like playing Bedrock. It's not my vibe. I just find it too unfamiliar, and it's just the limited time that I have to spend playing Minecraft and streaming Minecraft, I'm going to be playing it where I'm having more fun and not as frustrated. So yeah, I'm just waiting for it to come out on Java.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I am as well, just to spend a little bit more time with it. But yeah, I do think it's going to be worth keeping an eye on Minecraft.net, as we always do with the Spawn Chunks podcast, just to see if anything new comes out about Vibrant Visuals. But yeah, I think they seem to be wrapping up on the post-show here, and I think that's probably where we'll conclude our discussion as well. As always, folks, Joel and I will be sharing more of our thoughts on Minecraft Live September 2025 on the next episode of The Spawn Chunks, which is going to be coming out this Monday, and you have the opportunity to support the show, get a listen early if you can listen live in our Patreon Discord. So if you want to head over to patreon.com/thespawnchunks and support us, you can get an invite to our patrons-only Discord chat if you become a member through any of our paid tiers there, and we look forward to sharing more of our thoughts with you. Any more thoughts before we wrap up the stream today, Joel?
No, I think it's going to be fun to hear from our community. We do have an email, so if you want to write us at spunchunkmail@gmail.com and let us know what your impressions are for Minecraft Live September 2025, what you think about the Sphere, what you think about the Nautilus, then that would be great, because we cover those emails live on the show. Keep them short if you can, because it does help us include them, but it's always great to hear from our community, because it's a kind of a good way to keep your ear to the ground on what the community is actually excited about, because like, the Minecraft community at large, our community is pretty diverse in terms of what people are building, what people are interested in doing in Minecraft. So let us know.
Fantastic. All right, folks, that's going to be it from us here at the Spawn Chunks. Thank you so much for watching. And if you've missed any of this, of course, the VOD will be available on the Spawn Chunks YouTube channel within the next few days. So keep an eye out for that. Of course, you can head back to Minecraft's YouTube channel and check through some of the stuff that they have announced at Minecraft Live today. If any of that stuff interests you and you want to know more, stay tuned, because I'm sure more stuff will come through in playtests, and we'll get to hang out and play with the Nautilus and the Spear and so forth very soon. Also, the Copper Age drops on Tuesday, on September 30th. That's another thing they announced today, so looking forward to more discussion of that on our show. In the meantime, friends, have yourselves a lovely rest of your day. Hope you've enjoyed Minecraft Live. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.